Hollywood is often remembered through its brightest stars, the actors whose names dominate posters and headlines. But behind every blockbuster and classic lies another group of performers, the character actors. These are the men and women whose faces audiences recognize instantly, even if they don't always recall their names. They are the villains, the sidekicks, the supporting figures who give stories depth and authenticity. Without them, the worlds we see on screen would feel empty. In recent years, we've lost several of these unforgettable performers. Among them are Bruce Glover, the icy Bond villain whose presence made Diamonds Are Forever unforgettable. Peter Jason, a director's actor whose steady performances anchored films from westerns to science fiction. And Rene Kirby, a performer who brought authenticity, humor, and courage to every role, breaking barriers for disabled actors in Hollywood. Each man had a story that stretched far beyond the screen. Early struggles, careers defined by perseverance, and the quiet dignity of crafting memorable performances without needing the spotlight. Today, we take a look at their lives, careers, and legacies. Three actors whose deaths remind us of the importance of the people who give cinema its humanity. Bruce Glover. Bruce Herbert. Glover was born on May 2nd, 1932, in Chicago, Illinois. Raised in a modest Midwestern household, Glover's path to Hollywood wasn't obvious. He didn't come from wealth or entertainment connections. Instead, he carved out a career through grit, persistence, and an unusual ability to inhabit the darker sides of human nature. His acting journey began on the stage. Glover trained in New York, immersing himself in the craft at a time when the method approach was transforming American performance. He performed in off-Broadway productions, often taking on unusual or eccentric roles that allowed him to explore extremes of character. His early career was marked by persistence, countless auditions, small parts in television series, and steady work that gradually brought him recognition. The breakthrough came in the early 1970s. Glover was cast as Mr. Wint, one half of the assassin duo in the James Bond film Diamonds Are Forever, 1971. Alongside Putter Smith's Mr. Kidd, Glover created one of the most memorable villain pairings in the Bond franchise. Their cool, calculated menace, combined with subtle hints of dark humor, gave audiences a villain dynamic that stood out even in a series famous for its bad guys. Glover's unnerving performance became his signature, and for many he would always be remembered as one of Bond's deadliest adversaries. But his career didn't stop there. Glover appeared in Walking Tall, 1973, Chinatown, 1974, and dozens of other films and television shows. He became the quintessential character actor, someone who might not headline a film, but whose presence elevated every scene. His sharp features and intense gaze made him a natural for villains, corrupt officials, or morally ambiguous figures. Yet those who worked with him often spoke about his humor and generosity off camera, a stark contrast to the roles he embodied. Beyond acting, Glover was also the father of actor Crispin Glover, known for Back to the Future and a career filled with eccentric roles of his own. Bruce supported Crispin's unconventional path, and in many ways, the father's career laid the groundwork for the son's. In his later years, Glover continued to work in independent films and even taught acting, sharing decades of experience with younger performers. He believed in the power of nuance, teaching that small details could make characters unforgettable. On March 12, 2025, Bruce Glover passed away in Los Angeles at the age of 92. His death marked the end of a long life in film. He may never have been a household name, but his contribution to cinema was undeniable. Audiences may not always remember the name Bruce Glover, but they remember Mr. Wint, the crooked cop, the eerie villain, characters that made movies richer. His career is proof that not every star has to shine at the center to illuminate the screen. Peter Jason. Peter Edward Ostling, professionally known as Peter Jason, was born on July 22, 1944, in Los Angeles, California. Raised near Hollywood, Jason initially had little interest in acting. He described himself as a surf bum during his teenage years, spending more time on the beach than on stage. But in high school, he discovered acting, performing in plays like The Man Who Came to Dinner. That spark grew during his time at Orange Coast College, where he developed a passion for theater. After college, Jason pursued acting seriously, training further before making his way into film and television. His early career was a mix of small parts and television appearances, but directors quickly saw his value. He had a grounded, authentic presence. The kind of actor who could make authority figures feel real. Whether as a sheriff, a general, or a coach, Jason radiated credibility. Jason's breakthrough came from his long collaboration with director John Carpenter. He appeared in several Carpenter films, including They Live, 1988, Prince of Darkness, 1987, Village of the Damned, 1995, and Ghosts of Mars, 2001. His work with Carpenter turned him into a familiar face for fans of cult cinema. He also became a go-to supporting actor for director Walter Hill, appearing in films like Streets of Fire, 1984. Throughout his career, Jason amassed over 250 acting credits, a staggering number that reflected both his talent and his work ethic. He appeared in everything from westerns to comedies, horror to science fiction. His adaptability made him indispensable, and directors appreciated how he could step into any role and make it believable. Off-screen, Jason lived a relatively quiet life compared to Hollywood standards. He married Eileen Rosley, with whom he shared a long and stable relationship. The couple had children together, and Jason often spoke about how much he valued family life alongside his career. He was also known as a passionate storyteller, frequently sharing behind-the-scenes tales from his decades in Hollywood. In his later years, Jason faced health struggles, particularly a battle with cancer. Yet he continued working, showing the same determination that had carried him from surf bum to respected actor. On February 20th, 2025, Peter Jason passed away at the age of 80 at his home in West Hollywood. The news of his death was met with tributes from fans, co-stars, and directors who had worked with him. Many remembered him as a director's dream, reliable, versatile, and always professional. Jason's legacy lies not in one iconic role, but in the sheer breadth of his career. He was the kind of actor who made films work, who filled the screen with humanity even in small parts. His passing marked the loss of one of Hollywood's most dependable and beloved character actors. Rene Kirby was born on February 27, 1955, in Burlington, Vermont. From the beginning, his life was shaped by challenges. He was born with spina bifida, a condition that affects the spine and mobility. While many might have seen this as a limitation, Kirby lived his life with determination and resilience. His disability became part of his story, but never the definition of who he was. Kirby's path to acting was unconventional. Unlike many Hollywood actors, he didn't move to Los Angeles to pursue fame or attend elite acting schools. Instead, he built a life in Vermont, where he became a beloved local figure long before audiences across the world saw him on screen. His sense of humor, warmth, and charisma made him stand out, and eventually those qualities brought him into acting. His breakthrough role came in 2001 with the Farrelly Brothers comedy Shallow Hal. Kirby played Walt, a man with spina bifida who provided one of the film's most heartfelt and memorable moments. His performance wasn't about pity or caricature. It was authentic, reflecting his real-life experience with honesty and humor. For many viewers, Kirby's role was a revelation, showing how disability could be represented on screen with dignity and humanity. He followed that performance with a role in Stuck on You, 2003, another Farrelly Brothers film, and made television appearances as well. Though his filmography was not extensive, his impact was significant. He became a role model for disabled actors, proving that Hollywood had space for performers whose lives and bodies didn't fit the traditional mold. Outside of acting, Kirby lived a life full of community connections. He remained in Burlington, where he was known not just as an actor, but as a friend, neighbor, and inspiration. He often spoke about how he didn't see himself as extraordinary, but rather as someone who took opportunities when they came and made the most of them. In 2025, Kirby faced health complications that led to a 2-month hospitalization. On July 11, 2025, he passed away in Burlington at the age of 70. His death was mourned deeply in his community and by fans who remembered his memorable film roles. Kirby's legacy is unique, While his career may not have been long or filled with blockbusters, his presence broke barriers. He showed Hollywood that authenticity matters more than perfection, and that real stories resonate with audiences. For disabled actors, he was proof that they could be seen, heard, and respected in an industry that often overlooks them. Bruce Glover, Peter Jason, and Rene Kirby lived very different lives, but their careers share a common thread. They each made films stronger by being part of them. Glover embodied villains with chilling conviction, Jason brought reliability and realism to every role, and Kirby offered authenticity and heart in a world that rarely made space for actors like him. Their deaths in 2025 remind us of how much cinema relies on the people who often work outside the spotlight. They may not have been constant headlines, but they left behind performances that continue to shape how we experience stories. Each man carved out a unique space in Hollywood, proving that legacy isn't always about stardom, it's about impact. As audiences, we often remember the stars, but it's the ensemble, the men like Glover, Jason, and Kirby, who make those stars shine brighter. Their contributions deserve to be remembered, and today we pay tribute to their talent, their lives, and the characters they gave us.